Hi, folks. Welcome to another Dungeon Master Roundtable. And today we're going to be answering the question, what fictional fantasy setting would you like to most set a D&D game in? So we're going to start off with Fred.
Okay. Theros. I'm going to go with Theros. I know some people may be confused, but I actually really like this book a lot. And even though it's Magic the Gathering, I don't actually have too much issue with that. But it's really a rough sort of copy and paste rip off. You can say inspiration, but it's a rip off really of Greek mythology, and I love Greek mythology, and so the idea of somebody having done most of the work for me, so I don't have to do anything, and I can be as lazy as possible and play in a world that's very much sort of like about stories where you have champions working for the gods. Like, I think that's like the best. It's like, if you wanted Dungeons and Dragons to be really cool and epic and have stories that we all sort of know, then that would be the one. So that's why I like it so much. And of course, it's got lots of cool monsters.
So what I chose, I initially wanted to go with a Magic the Gathering setting because I like Magic the Gathering and I like D&D and I like a lot of the settings. I've played a few games in Ravnica and things like that. But then I thought it would be really cool in a fictional fantasy setting to run an all-wizard party starting at level 1 in the wonderful world of Harry Potter. I just think it'd be really cool. The wizards would actually have their books, but they always know all those spells in the books. It's not like every day waking up and be like, okay, which ones do I pick? Whatever spells they learn by going through classes or going through side quests or things like that, those are going to be forever retained and they can cast them whenever they want. And so as we progress through the levels, we could do different quests to either like get potions or to learn spells, or you could throw like fantastic beasts in there and they could go in search of some strange monsters or things like that. And that's kind of how I set up my Ravnica world when we started I played a few games in Ravnica. It was kind of like a Harry Potter meets Eberron type of a setting. But now everything has actually come true because we're getting Strixhaven this year. And Strixhaven, for those of you who don't know, is another MTG setting, but it is comprised of 5 different schools, and it is very Harry Potter-esque. So I'm looking forward to that. But if I were to pick a campaign to run some type of mini campaign or something, I really think it'd be fun to run something in a Harry Potter world. And we'll see what Strixhaven is like. Maybe I will be getting my wish soon.
Yeah, I really like that. I know I've seen a lot of talk about running a Harry Potter game, but yeah, doing an all wizard party would be the best approach to that.
Absolutely.
So, AJ, how about you?
I'm all in favor of all like one character class parties. They can be really great because there's so much variety in like clerics or wizards that you can all play the same class and be completely different characters. I chose as my fantasy world of choice the world of Thra for the Dark Crystal, because I've loved the Dark Crystal since day one, since I very first saw the trailer for it and went and saw it in the movie theaters because I'm that old. Yeah, it's just brilliant. The idea that there's no humans at all, or all the sort of traditional D&D races and things. So you throw out all of those concepts that you've been using for so many years and come up with entirely new interactions, like, what exactly are the Nebri like a playable race? That sort of thing. Yeah. As for Magic the Gathering settings, I'm all in favor of those. And I think with Strixhaven, the country city state of Helrua on the southern coast of Faerun is a perfect spot for something like that. If you've got like wizard academies and things like that, that's a perfect location to set those sort of games, if you ask me.
Yeah, you could probably even mix in Candlekeep Mysteries or something with the wizard type school.
Yeah.
It's not that far away as the crow flies or the griffin.
No.
Yeah. I honestly, I like all the Magic. Theros, I've played in there before. That world is absolutely amazing, and I've liked Ravnica, and I think they've done pretty good with those.
Well, there is actually a Dark Crystal RPG that's supposed to be coming out, I think, next year. I want to give a special thanks to all of our patrons, especially Black Dragon Gaming. If you want to support our channel, you can head on over to patreon.com and check out the perks of being a patron. So the fantasy setting that I came up with was actually Zelda. I think this is a really great setting to kind of set a D&D game in. You already have the various dungeons that your party can kind of move through. There are lots of puzzles that weave into the story, as well as I like all of the different monsters, and think it would be fun to kind of figure out, okay, how do I stat out all the different monsters that exist in Zelda, and eventually have the big bad be Ganon that the party gets to fight. So there you go.
I absolutely love that
If
answer.
I'm a ranger, could I have favorite enemy pot for my Zelda game?
Yes. Or chickens. Or I guess that would be more for the fighter. Definitely have to have a boss fight with the chickens.
I will let you know I was at a toss-up between Harry Potter and Zelda, so that's nice. Fred's got something.
Can I just add one thing?
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of friends who sometimes might not seem like friends. And I was running a campaign in a store, and it's the climax. They know it's like the last session of the campaign. And they knew they were dealing with a lich. So they knew that I allowed them to retrain all of their characters apart from their name and their gear. And they had planned to show up with nothing but wizards, just to mess with me big time and make my life absolutely miserable. And they probably would have been able to figure out it because they're all significantly smarter than I am. And it's the one thing I fear the most. It's not an all cleric party. It's an all wizard party. That's the one I fear the most.
Yeah, wizards fights. Oh boy. Right, so what fictional fantasy setting would you love to set a D&D game in? We'd love to hear more about it down in the comments below. If you want to check out any of these wonderful creators, links to their channels will be in the description. All right, we will see you next time.